What's up, people? John Stanley coming to you live here from Glendale, Arizona. John Stanley World of Anarchy podcast. We're here post UFC 200. Gonna come at you with some statistics from the night, man. It's Sunday, 7/10, 2016. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. It's been a really good weekend, really good week, really busy week this week. A lot of stuff happened. Brazil, guys. Only country on the face of the earth that can leave the night with two champions after coming in with zero. What a weekend for Brazil. RDA losing the world title to Eddie Alvarez, first round knockout. Claudia Gaday coming up short. Looking really good in the first couple rounds against Joanna, but Joanna champion coming through, finishing like a champion. And the return of the one and only WWE superstar, worldwide pay-per-view superstar Brock Lesnar defeating Mark Hunt by decision. What a week we had this week. John Jones testing positive for an unknown substance. We haven't been alerted to that yet. We're going to keep you up to date on that day by day. I don't know when they're going to be releasing that. But Daniel Cormier beating the Anderson the Spider Silva on 2 weeks' notice. It was a lackluster fight, but it was good to see Daniel Cormier at least get to go in there on UFC 200 after the week he had and everything that was going on with that. But he defeats the GOAT, Anderson Silva. I mean, the man is a beast. Can't knock Anderson Silva. I mean, he'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. He's getting up there in age. That fight was a little bit crazy if you look at it at the end of the day. I mean, when they are announcing the ages, I'm not knocking, man. These guys are both world-class athletes, but 37 and 41, and that was the one of the main fights. Anderson Silva first loss at 205. He's undefeated. He had defeated James Irvin, Forrest Griffin, and Stephan Bonner, all at 205. First loss at 205. And then Miesha Tate loses the world's women's bantamweight title to Amanda Nunes in the first round, rear naked choke. I would say rear naked beatdown. I'm no disrespect to Miesha Tate, but Amanda Nunes, Jesus. I'd love to see her and Holly Holm now. That was a heck of a fight. I mean, whoo! Those girls. I was telling the wife before that got started, girls don't know how to hold emotions. And that was before the Joanna fight. And Joanna and Claudia, good fight. How about the women's headlining? I believe that was 2 out of the 3 cards this weekend. And Eddie Alvarez coming through with the world title. Good weekend of fights, man. I don't care. John Jones not being on the card does suck, and I don't know what's going to happen with that guy's career again. We'll stay up to date on that. But Jose Aldo, also the second world title for Brazil. So Jose Aldo stopping the freight train that is Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar has been on a mission. Looking like we're not going to get Frankie Edgar versus Conor, the notorious one. If he follows through with this, beats Nate, or even with the loss, I believe we're going to get Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor 2. It's probably Madison Square Garden. That makes the most sense to me. And then we've also got Cain Velasquez, TKO Travis Brown in the first round. I mean, Cain, God, looked like the old Cain again. Come back like a monster. Just, Cain's a good beast, man. Probably one of the best heavyweights, if not the best heavyweights. If we could have seen him and Fedor back in their day, that'd have been the fight. Or even Fedor and Brock, but Fedor's doing his thing. Cain's a monster. But TJ Dillashaw, looking like he's probably going to get the next shot at Dominic. He beat Asensio in a decision. He looked really, really good in that. Asensio kind of gassed out at the end of it. But, I mean, again, TJ's footwork and everything that he's got going on, that's going to be a heck of a rematch. See if he can solve that Dominic Cruz puzzle that has been riddling everybody. That's what they need to be calling Dominic, not the Dominator, the Riddler, because nobody can figure him out. And then Pena squeezes out a decision over Cat Zingano. That was a good fight, guys. A lot of grappling, but a good fight for Pena, especially because Cat Zingano, especially in the first, she was out wrestling her. I mean, it was a good little fight. But Pena pulled it out. She's young. Maybe she might be seeing her against Nunes coming up. Give Nunes that fight and book the Holly Holm Ronda Rousey rematch. And then I think Tate's probably going to take some time off. It's been a rough run for her the last couple years. She finally gets that world title and then ran into a freight train. Amanda Nunes was not playing games last night. The Super Sage Northcutt returned with his exquisite body. I mean, that guy's a fucking model. Jesus Christ, he's a great fucking fighter, but Jesus, he looks like something out of Dragon Ball Z life form. But he's a great little fighter. He squeaked through a decision. It was 29-28 on all the cards. He kind of did get out grappled again, but he was going for some good submissions in this fight. People are gonna probably knock him again because he's a pretty boy, but he was going for some really good submissions. I believe he went for a Darce a couple times. You could see that he's still not comfortable on the ground because as soon as he went to cinch it up, he wasn't too sure of himself and he would kind of back out of it. But it's good to see the progress with him. I mean, guys, it's gonna be a long road with him. He got thrust into the UFC when he was, I believe, 21. I don't know the numbers on that kid. I'm not a fucking stalker, but that kid's an amazing fighter. People give him some time. Hopefully, he doesn't get his face smashed in through this brutal sport of MMA. But he's a great little fighter, man. He's good look to him and everything. Future champion if he keeps his head on right. And then the two warriors from. I mean, I love Diego, but Diego, come on now, guy. Brother, I don't want to see this no more. I love Diego. Joe Lozon, TKO Diego, first round. Diego's a monster, UFC 200. Great fighter. And then Mousasi beats Thiago Santos, TKO first round. The prelims on the Fight Pass was bam, bam, bam. I mean, they were over quick. Gomi got TKO'd by Jim Miller. They were over, I believe the total fight time on that was on all three fights was about 5 minutes. So those were over bam, bam, bam real quick. And then we had decision all the way through the FS1 card. And then it was quick, long, quick. The middle fights on the main card 200 were all decisions. You had decision with Aldo, Cormier, and Lesnar. Lesnar looked great. I haven't really talked about that. Brock Lesnar, how about that, guys? 4 years on the road with the WWE, doing stuff with them, tinkering around with. I believe he did a couple of little movie things. I'm not too sure about that, but I know Brock's. He hasn't necessarily been in the gym for 4 years. He's been keeping in good shape. Brock's a monster, but how about that, Lesnar? And that's the number one story of the day. Lesnar's not done with MMA. We'll see how that works out with the WWE because there were reports coming out right before the fight that they weren't too happy about him doing this venture. But I believe that was before he got in there and did what he did, handled business. And Brock Lesnar is a monster. He dominant win. I mean, he's a wrestler. One thing I love about Lesnar is he never says he's going to do something and then doesn't do exactly what he's going to do. He's a wrestler. He's going to go in there. He's going to take you down. He's going to beat your ass. That's what Brock Lesnar does. He's not a boxer. He's not Floyd Mayweather. He's not gonna. But good for him, man. Brock Lesnar. The next fight, I didn't do the fighter companion for this fight card. It ended up falling apart on us, guys. Not with the fighter companion. We were gonna do that still, but the fight card. I mean, it just wasn't. I didn't want that to be my first one, guys. I want to kick it off with a good fight card, and this still was a great fight card, but it just didn't line up, guys. Car kind of had some issues with that, and then not making excuses, but we, no matter what, are going to be doing that for the Conor McGregor fight. We're going to have the companion on. Check that out, guys. We're going to be live as the card goes down. That's going to be Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. I believe Cowboy Cerrone's on that card. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be some great fights, and the return of the Notorious one. We're going to break down that fight coming up because I mean, that's going to be a nice little riddle for Conor to try to solve because Nate Diaz, at the end of the day, is probably a 160er if we were still in Pride. He's a good sized boy, and that's an amazing fight. See how both of them, the trash talk. I believe we had some issues at the one of the press conferences. I believe Conor struck Nate, but they've got another thing that we got building up is going to be the little inside camp war because I believe Artem is fighting one of Nate's friends on the card also. But that's going to be an awesome fight card. Trying to get that up right now. Sorry if this guy is freaking. Boom. There we go. Ooh, Yair Rodriguez versus Alex Caceres is coming up. I did not see that they had that book. And that's going to be a Bruce Leroy versus Yair. That's going to be a good fight. Okay, on that fight, I know this is already taken off the card. They say that they have Anthony Johnson Glover. That's not. That fight was removed. Yeah, see, that's pulled. I knew that was pulled. But yeah, we have Nate Diaz. It's going to be Nate Diaz and Connor, Damian Maia, Carlos Condit, Rick Story, Donald Cerrone. I knew Cowboy was on that one. And then we got Alberto Aroda, Marvin Verto, Magny, Dung Hung Kim. That's going to be a stellar fight. For people who don't know who Neil Magny is, you guys better ask somebody. And then Mazdagaki versus Cody Garbrandt. Oh, and then this is the fight. I knew it. It's Artem. Then we got Artem versus Chris Oliveira. And that's going to be a burner because Chris Oliveira, coming out of Stockton, is a beast on the Stockton, out of the Stockton scene over there with the Diaz boys. And then Artem, I mean, no ground game. No offense, brother, but no ground game. QT doesn't sponsor me, guys. I just needed a cappuccino. But yeah, that's gonna be an awesome fight, and we're gonna be coming to you live from that. I don't root for anybody in the Diaz McGregor fight because I did a seminar with Diaz, and that dude is a badass human being, man. And Conor McGregor is he's my boy. He's my boy. So we don't play favorites on that, but it's gonna be a good fight for both guys. It's one of those fights where you never want to see it, but you do want to see it. But that's a rehash of UFC 200 and this week, the major events that happened this week. Again, we'll be getting back to you with the John Jones situation and seeing what's going on with that, because I'm not too sure how that's going to affect his career, because poor guy, man. The greatest of all time, probably. People, let's be honest with ourselves. If we're all being honest, John Jones is either the GOAT or he's on Mount Rushmore. If you're not putting John Jones on the Mount Rushmore of MMA, then you don't know and you need to ask somebody. But yeah, that's going to be the big card. I can't believe they got Garbrandt and Mazdagaki. I wonder if that's in case something... No, they wouldn't do that. McGregor's not going to fight Garbrandt at that low weight. Anyways, but yeah, guys, hope you guys tune in to UFC 200 replays. Check it out, man. This is a great night of fights. Tune in. Oh, one last thing, guys. I am finally announcing it. We have the guest booked. Juwan Lee from the MMA Lab right up the road, 67th Road and Bell. He's going to be coming on. We're going to be talking about his upbringing and what led him to the lab and whatnot, training with the best in the business. I mean, you got Benson Henderson up there, John Moraga. A lot of big-name fighters up there in Moraga. That's my boy, man. Good fight this weekend, brother. Still support you. No matter what, Team Moraga, baby. Chingaso, John. But yeah, I'm going to be talking to him about what's been going on with the lab and everything, and how the MMA scene on the lower levels are in the Arizona scene. This is John Stanley Podcast, World of Anarchy. We're just out there trying to make our mark and show the world what the beautiful state of Arizona has to offer and what we got going on out here, guys. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. Check you guys later.